I'm Bree.
And I'm Jamie. Tell us about that one time. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi,
welcome.
everyone. Welcome to another episode of our Abduction Hotline.
I'm Jamie.
I'm Bree.
And we have another interesting episode today because we don't have a voicemail this time. We have a live ass person.
We have a brave soul, one
A
that's
brave
been
soul.
talking to us for a while too, so we're very glad to have her here.
What's interesting is many of our videos that we've posted up on YouTube here about Abduction Hotline have been most of her voicemails. So we have her here in person today for this time. So let's just bring her right into the room and welcome Tay.
Hey.
Hello. Hi.
Welcome. How are you doing today?
In the house.
Doing well, thank you guys. How about yourself?
Doing good. So you've been calling us for quite some time now with tons of different stories. And I swear to God, every time the voicemail 3-minute marker is never enough time for any of your stories. And so we thought, how perfect, now that we have people calling in to the hotline live, why not have you call in with some of your stories?
Yeah, I have plenty of stories to share, trust me. And it's like stuff that I'm still trying to process. And I'm still like, what? I think about it sometimes, whenever I pause from my routine life or whatever. And I'm like, okay, did I really just live this? Because it still feels kind of like a dream. I don't know.
No,
Hey,
100%.
anything's possible though. Like the only thing I keep telling myself is that anything is possible. I'm not crazy, and
Nope.
there's other people going through this.
100%.
Absolutely. Let's start from the beginning. So, what was your first memory that you remember or experience that you remember that was totally out of the ordinary for you, where you knew this was something very strange?
Well, whenever I was a little girl, I remember always seeing people, a lot of people around me, and I thought they were always there. But my parents would be like, no, that nobody's there and stuff. And
Oh.
then, yeah. And then I had like really, really vivid dreams. Kind of, you know how those the fever dreams that you have, they're
Mhm.
just so, yeah, kind of like that. But I wasn't running a fever. And so
Mhm.
it's just been stuff like that. And then I can't remember a lot of my childhood because I went through like some, trauma and stuff like that. And so I basically blocked that out of my head.
Mhm.
But I do remember like all the time, like my childhood was filled with like all of this weird stuff, like orbs and the weird thing is that like my dad was very susceptible of this stuff too. And so
Mm.
yeah, and it had whenever he was around, it happened a lot.
Oh,
And
interesting.
so yeah, and it's just not even like alien things. It's a lot of more like spiritual, like demon kind of, angels kind of thing. But yeah.
No,
It's
100%. It all bleeds together, and I think a lot of people for a long time have thought about all of those different things very separately, but I think
Yeah.
now in the way that we're studying the subject now, people are understanding that it's a lot more connected than people realize.
Yeah. For sure.
So, you were seeing people. To me, that sounds very like
Clairvoyant.
mediumistic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Has your
no,
dad
I
openly
did.
talked about that since he's
Um,
susceptible too? Was he open to what was happening to him when you were a child?
I do remember he would like tell people these stories of like what had happened to him. Like one time, an
Oh.
orb basically chased him for hours and stuff.
What?
And he would like tell
Wow.
stories, and he would talk about what happened to him. He would just, I don't remember him ever being like, "Oh no, this never happened to me" or anything like that. They were very open to the supernatural realm. Yeah. Because his
That's nice,
parents,
though.
like, were
Mhm.
involved in stuff like that, yeah.
Oh, they were. So your
Oh.
grandparents.
So this
Yeah,
runs a
this
little bit deep.
way deep, like, generations and yeah.
Oh my
Wow. That's
gosh.
interesting if it
Yeah.
ran such deep in generations when you were younger, talking about, being surrounded by people, your family not really believing it, because you would think that coming from such a background, they'd be a lot more open to the idea of you being surrounded by, spirits and things like that.
Yeah, well, at the beginning, they didn't really want to believe it, I guess, but then my
Mm.
sister started also seeing she saw, like, a black goat, but she only saw that
Oh.
whenever we went, like, to this place in Mexico, and
Oh.
so
Oh,
then my
shit.
parents started kind of, like because she was little, and
Mhm.
so she started, like they started believing her, and they thought that I was doing it for attention, that's why they were kinda like, "Oh, okay," whatever.
But then once
Middle
your sister
child.
started saying, "Oh my god, I'm seeing it too," they were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
wait, maybe there's something going on here?"
Yeah. Yeah, but then it, like, scared the shit out of me for a while because I wouldn't just see, like, nice things. I would see,
Mm-mm.
like,
Mm,
really ugly things. Then I was 7, 8 years old maybe, and I was like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
I can't,
wow.
dude." Like, if I tried to just close my eyes and I just repeated like, if it was a freaking mantra, dude, like, I would say, "Okay, I'm not seeing this. This isn't here. This isn't here. Go away, go away, go away." And it finally went away, and it went away for years
Mm.
until, recently, a couple years ago, whenever I basically found your show,
Oh,
and because
no.
I was experiencing things, and
Mm.
I knew that I needed to open up to that,
Yeah.
realm because I felt the need to connect somehow with my dad. I felt the need to, believe in impossibilities. Because
Mhm.
my dad passed away, like, back in
Oh, I'm so
2011.
sorry.
Thank you, it's okay. Um oh, it's okay, after the story I tell you guys, it'll be okay.
Okay, 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 okay.
No, yeah, it was hard. It was really hard, honestly, because, my dad and I were just, like, really, really close, like, he
Mhm.
really understood me. I've always been kinda like the black sheep of the family, um, kind of out there with my mindset, with the way that I do things, and so my siblings are very, different. And
Mhm.
so,
No, I 100% know what you mean.
yeah, my dad would always, like, protect me and stuff, and so then he passed away,
Mm,
and then I kinda got depressed and stuff, and then, I don't know, years passed, life happened, had kids, and then, like, I just always wanted I felt like I needed this connection with my dad, like, I felt this sorrow for losing him.
Mhm.
And so then a couple years ago, y'all seen that movie, Coco?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it 'cause heard the
Oh,
song and it made me cry,
Yeah,
and I
Bree's
knew that
super
if I
emotional. Yeah. If she watched
I
it, she would
knew
oh,
that if
cry,
I
yeah.
yeah.
watched it, I would have trouble.
Dude, I'm the type of person that I can watch a commercial and
Yeah.
sit there and cry. Like, I am
Mhm.
That's Bree is like
very
that, yeah.
Yeah.
emotional.
Mhm.
I'm a huge
You're an
empath.
empath. Mhm.
Yeah. And it's really hard sometimes whenever, like, I'm around people and I feel their energy, I'm just like, "Dang." It's
Yeah.
hard.
It
But
is very hard.
anyways, yeah. Dang, I
So
lost
you
my train
saw
of thought.
Coco.
Oh, no, it's okay. So you saw Coco.
Oh, so I saw Coco. Okay, so I saw Coco and I didn't wanna see it because I knew I was gonna cry because it had to do with death or whatever.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so then I finally managed to watch it and I was able to kind of understand that. And, I don't know, dude, it's kind of there's truth behind that movie
Mhm.
because it has to do with, like, the day in Mexico. It's thought that El Día de los Muertos, which is November 2nd,
Second,
is the
yep.
Day of the Dead, which the dead are able that day to come into the living realm and be with their family members and, get the offerings that were put out for them and just spend time with them, connecting or whatever. And so, I never really did an altar because I grew up Christian,
Mhm.
but I
Okay.
agree. I'm like Bree whenever she says, I was deep in the church and I saw
Mhm.
some things and I was just kind of like, you know what, man, this isn't, what it's supposed to be or at least what I think it's supposed to be. So I just basically made my own, I guess belief system
Mhm.
or whatever.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Anyways, so my mom we weren't taught to do that for our ancestors or anything.
Mhm.
And so I started doing that for my dad a couple years ago and I've been kind of like feeling different and different things had been like preparing me for what was coming.
Mhm.
Now,
Oof.
before I say anything, I do have to say that my husband's sister, um, I guess you can call her a medium. She's a medium.
Mhm.
Wow.
She sees dead people and she's seen it all of her life. They come to her to like give people a message, and she's never wanted to really accept it. My
Mhm.
dad has reached out to her once in a dream,
Oh,
but
okay.
she denied it, and he got so mad, so frustrated that she got scared because my dad
Mhm.
he had a very strong personality. And so she got scared and she like made him go away, and he got mad and he hit the door.
Oh.
Like I heard it. I was there. It was crazy. And then she told us after that happened what had happened, that my dad had tried contacting her and he got mad
Yeah.
because she said no. And we were like, "What?" So that was crazy. And so she has, I guess, this gift, you know?
Mhm.
So, I guess now I can begin my story. So this
Yes, tell
year,
us.
it was my sister-in-law came over here. We live over here in Texas and she lives in Mexico. And
Mhm.
so her and her family flew in and they were going to spend Halloween with us because they wanted to take the kids over here trick-or-treating, all that stuff, dress them up in costumes and all of that good stuff. So they came here and they were here on November 2nd. So
Mm.
they were here since like October 15
Mhm.
until like mid-November.
Okay, yeah. So a good month.
Yeah, a good month. So I had been telling them to spend the night, and I had been wanting, I had this feeling of wanting to spend time with them and wanting to be close to them. But
Mhm.
for one reason or another, like they didn't, and they stayed over there with their mom and all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
Until finally November 1st, that day, they finally came over to the house and they finally spent the night. And we were
Of
just
all the days of the
chit-chatting.
year.
Yeah, dude.
Mhm.
And the night before I was drinking, and I like to drink. I'm not gonna say that I don't. So for me to be like 1 or 2 beers in and then be like, "Yeah, I don't want any more," that's not normal.
Mhm, mhm.
So, that night I was taking a drink of the beer and I was like, "Nah, I don't want this anymore," for some reason. And so I just threw it out and I was like, "What?"
How
And I
weird,
went to
yeah.
bed. Yeah, I went to bed and I just fell asleep, dude, like if somebody disconnected, like
Whoa.
completely.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden I remember that night I woke up, something just said, "It's time." And so I was just kind of
Mm.
like awake. And I look over at my clock and it was like 3:30 something in the morning.
Mhm.
And so I was like, okay, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. What is it? And then all of a sudden I hear my sister-in-law's voice. She was like, Tay, I need to tell you something. She was like, "Are you awake?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "I really need to tell you something right now." And I was like, "Okay, what is it?"
Ugh.
And so she started talking and she started saying, like that everything was going to be okay, that she had dreamt my dad and that he was really happy and he had like this light around him and he was kind of like going up levels, and he said that he was almost done completing his tasks or like what he
Huh.
had to do in order to get to another level. Yeah, because he said that there were levels there. I don't know. Anyways, dang, I forgot
That's
what
crazy.
happened. Yeah. And so she was telling me all of these things, and I was just kind of like, as she was telling me these things, because she told me I saw him and he's surrounded by dogs. And in my head, I saw a picture of a German Shepherd. And I
Mm.
told her immediately, I was like, German Shepherds? And she was like, yes. He has like 7 around them. And I was like, "Yeah, he loved German Shepherds." Like, he loved German Shepherds. He loved dogs. If he had a dog, it would only be that one. Like, he never bought any other kind of dog at all. And so, then I don't know what other things she said, she was trying to, like, block him, I guess, because she was just scared. She was shaking. She told me, she was
Mhm.
like, "Can you turn a light on?" So I turned my phone light on,
Mhm.
and, I felt her energy kind of relax because she was really tense. And
Mhm.
I was just kinda like I wasn't even processing anything that was going on, like, she took a break, and I got up, and I was like, "Hey, I'll be right back. I need to go to the restroom."
Yeah.
And then I came back out, and she was just kinda like I could feel her energy was just like, whenever you need to tell somebody something, but you just don't know how, it's like,
Mhm.
ah. And so, she was like, "Yeah, there's some more stuff that I need to tell you." And then she doesn't speak English, like, at all.
Oh.
Mm.
And my dad did speak a little bit of English, and so she started saying in English, she was like, "Everything's gonna be fine. I love you, baby." And I was just like,
That's what your
"Oh
dad would
my
say, yeah.
gosh." Yeah, dude. I was like, "What?"
That gave me the chills.
Mhm.
Yes, no, and I was just trying to process it, and then she was just saying, that he loved me, like, basically, he was just telling me that he loved me and all of this stuff, and so then she started saying, "I have to go, I have to go, I have to go," and so she left to her parents' house, and I took my kid to school.
Mhm.
So, like, I got him ready and everything, and I took him to school. So, this happiness, like, came over me. It was so weird. It was like ecstasy. And I
Wow.
was, like, driving my kid to school, and I looked in the rear view mirror, and I could see, um, I don't know, it's like an outline, like an aura. I don't know how
Mhm.
to explain it, but, like, I could see him. And then especially because, like, I have his eyes, I don't know. So I was like, "Okay, I know you're here with me, and you're taking me," because it was already November 2nd.
Mhm.
Um, so technically, it was during that time, and I did put his altar up this year and everything.
Mhm.
And during that time, he was doing all of this stuff. So, took my kid to school, whatever, was really happy, came back home, and then, I decided not to go to school, not to go to work, and we go over to my in-laws' house. And my sister-in-law, I can hear her, and she's just, like, crying, and then I try to go in the house, and she's like, "Get out, get out." So, turns out that her grandpa, her mom's dad, had been trying to get through to her for
Mhm.
years, and he couldn't because she would always shut him down because he would scare the shit out of her. And so it wasn't until my dad opened basically that door or that portal,
Mhm.
basically, she was like, he tricked me into listening to him and opening
Mm.
it. And I was like, wow. And so then her grandpa took advantage, saw what was going on, took advantage, and came running through the door. So he was talking to his daughters, and it just became a day of like,
She was overwhelmed.
yeah, no, but finally went in the house after he gave his message, and you could feel their energies. It was so weird. Like, she said that they were in, like, a party setting, that they were in a fiesta,
Mm.
like, they were celebrating, dude, and I could
Mhm.
feel the excitement. I could feel, like, the emotions, the happiness, the ecstasy, everything.
That's amazing.
And yeah, and all of a sudden, like, lights would turn on and off, like, they would start flickering. We put my dad's picture, actually, I have it here on my laptop always. I put his picture on my in-laws' altar because we
Mhm.
were at her house and she made one for her father,
Yeah.
and I, like, stared at the picture, and dude, I kid you not, I swear, man, he smiled through his picture, like, he sat there and smiled, and I was like, "What?" Like, this is so
What?
crazy, yeah, and he was just like, all day long, he told me basically that he loved me, and so we didn't end up doing anything, we just spent the entire day there, like, and then when I went to go pick up my kid again from school, he went with me, like, I felt him physically go with me, and my sister-in-law was like, "Yeah, he just left," like, she said she could hear their voices,
Mhm.
um, and they would, like, go in and out, like, because they were taking turns talking to her.
Wow.
And yeah, at one point, she doesn't drink alcohol, and she took a shot because my dad told her that he wanted to, taste the alcohol.
Oh,
It's so
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, and I'm leaving out a ton of details. I'm probably, like, under,
No.
dang, I lost the word. Under animating the story, but, I know I recorded it somewhere, so I'll have to look through that later.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was so crazy, and it took me, like, several days, like, I was in awe.
Mhm.
It was just crazy.
Well, no, it's
my
interesting because,
gosh.
you know, I think what people don't realize about Dia de los Muertos is that, like, it is meant to spend the day honoring the people who have passed on. You're not meant to do anything else. You know what I mean? And your
Yeah,
ancestors at that moment made you stop what you were doing for the day to just sit and appreciate and be with them, you know? And that's really what that day is all about, is just feeling them and being with them. And I think I wish more cultures celebrated in such a way, because I think that we forget about the people who have passed on a lot
Mhm.
in the world that we live in. You know, we have this
yeah.
an issue with society where everything is object permanence. You know, if we don't see it, then I guess it's not here.
Mhm.
And I love that culture really takes an entire day out to just appreciate the people who we've lost, and reminding us that they're not really lost and that they're here all along.
Yeah. Yeah, because that goes into the possibilities, like, I'm still kinda like, I can't believe it because I say it out loud and I'm just like, "What?" Like, I'm reading a story or something, right? No, but I don't know. It's so crazy because then that means what happens when we do die? Where does our soul go?
Mhm.
And that just opens the possibility to, I guess, reunite one day. I know in
Definitely.
Christian, religion or whatever, I guess it's believed that you do reunite with your loved ones one day, right?
Mhm.
But, and I
I
do
mean, if
believe
you go
that.
to heaven and they
Yeah.
also go to heaven.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
believe that
But
all
see,
of
and I
our
don't, yeah, and I
souls.
don't believe that either. I believe good, bad, all of it, we're all reuniting on that other side, all of us.
Yeah, because all of us are going through different levels and going through different lives, and yeah, that's so crazy.
No,
Your
but it's true.
sister-in-law is talented. I mean,
Yeah.
Very.
I feel for her that she was so afraid even to talk to her own dad, like, that is crazy.
No, her grandpa.
Oh, her
Grandpa.
grandpa. But
Yeah.
even then, I it must be such an intense experience if you are pushing out that contact, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can only
Yeah.
imagine what it was
And how
like.
strong is she to even be able to push it out? Because I know a lot of people who, have this clairvoyance and this mediumship have a hard time disconnecting from it like that. Like sometimes it creeps in and they can't get it out, you know? So what a strong individual she is to completely stop it for as long as she did.
Yeah. She said that she fought it for years and, like, she wanted to come, but in February. But somehow, all of a sudden, whenever her and her husband were making plans to come out here,
Mhm.
she was like, "No, never mind. I want to go for Halloween." And so she was stuck on Halloween, and she was like, "I want my kids to be there for Halloween for some reason." And he changed the date, and they came here for Halloween, and she was like, "All of these things, like money wise, and all of the plans, the airplane, dude." All of it fell perfectly into place to happen exactly at this time, and she was
Mm.
like, "Your dad works so hard to,
To
to
orchestrate it and
get,
make
yeah,
sure
to
it happened that way.
exactly.
Yeah. Mhm.
Perfect word, orchestrate it. Yeah. And have y'all
Mhm.
seen that movie? That there's the other movie that's called The Book of Life.
I've heard about it. I don't think I've seen it though.
Okay, well, in that one, it's kind of like it has to do with the Day of the Dead.
Mhm.
And but that one, the guy dies and he has to do all of this stuff to go back
Mhm.
into the living to basically live again because
Yeah.
he died on accident. I don't know. Anyways, I was referencing that movie because that's kinda like what I imagine my dad had to do, go through
Yeah.
all of these things to
Mhm.
prove, his point, and then he had to build it out of nothing. I don't even know. It's just crazy.
Well, it's just interesting what it is we are capable of, whether we are flesh and human or we are ethereal and on the other side of that veil. Like the
Yeah.
soul is
Seriously.
the soul is a powerful, powerful being, regardless of what state that we're in at the end of the day. And who knows if he's even more powerful on that side because look at all the things that he orchestrated and able to talk to you.
Yes.
My gosh, so what happened after that? So,
Well,
he's spent the day with you,
Mm-hmm.
which must
yeah.
have been amazing for you.
Yeah, it was
Lots of
really nice.
closure, I imagine.
Yeah, it was really nice. I had it was like an aching feeling, just living with it, and it wouldn't go away. I don't know. I couldn't feel happiness, like, no matter what I did. It was just, the pure feeling of
Mm-hmm.
happiness, you just don't feel it. And, I don't know, that day, it was just I got that feeling of happiness back and a new possibility of being able to, connect. I don't know, even if it's one time a year, having that special tradition to just be able to connect with my dad, I think is just really amazing.
That was gonna be my next
Absolutely.
question to you is, have you been trying
Mm.
to contact him outside of this now? Like, do you still feel his presence around you in your day-to-day life?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I have tried telling him, that it's okay if he needs to leave because I haven't investigated enough to know if souls are here, if they're here because they feel you pulling on them because you're
Mm,
missing them so much
Mhm,
and you're keeping them from doing what they need to do.
right.
So I've been trying to like just as much as I enjoy it and as much as I love it, honestly, I need to not be so selfish and let him go do what he has to do because he needs to move on, with whatever he's doing next. And so,
You're such a smart girl,
yeah.
Tay. Like, that's so a lot of people would be a lot more selfish in that stance, especially with, like,
Yeah.
a parent or, like, a loved one, a child or something like that. They wouldn't wanna let them go, but it shows how much you truly do love him because you just want him to be the best version of himself.
Yeah, for sure, and it's taken me life has molded me this way, trust me. It's taking me a lot. It's taken me a lot of time, a lot of, just understanding really, because I could not see anything that had to do with dads, nothing, like, every Father's Day, his birthday, like, any special
Mm,
occasion, it was just sobbing, like,
Mhm.
just
haunted.
Yep.
yes, it was just crying and crying and crying, and, like, now I can hear sad songs and see sad movies, and I'm okay, and I'm just like, "What?" Like,
He
it's
brought
just I
you he
never
brought you your happiness back.
yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know, it's just crazy. It's still unbelievable to me. But, yeah, I can't be so selfish as to have him back. Now that I have him back and I know that this can be, yearly,
Mhm.
um, I think I'm okay with that,
I know
because he's always
you're gonna have to build such a badass altar this year for him.
I
Shit.
know. Yeah, I
Shit.
know,
He's
for
gonna be like
sure.
last year, you look what I pulled through. You better pull through some stops this year, ma'am. It's your turn.
No, I know. Oh, that's another thing because like his favorite beer was called Victoria and it's a dark beer and it's really good. They sell it in Mexico.
Mhm.
I love it. And so I went to stores. I went to different towns all over the place looking for that beer and I couldn't find it.
No.
And, he was like, at the end of the day, he was like, "Yeah, next year, don't forget the beer
See?
or my
Yeah.
chips," or something like that, and I was like,
Yes.
"What?"
Yes.
And, like, I
Oh
hadn't
my
told anybody
gosh.
that I had been stressed about that, and he
Mhm.
just said that, and I was like that was, like, another way of him telling me, like, "This is actually
He's
happening." Like,
validating
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
yeah,
100%. That's
Wow.
so amazing. I'm so excited. I know it just happened, but I'm excited for this next year for you to experience
yeah.
that all over again and to look forward to that moment that you're gonna have with him again.
I
That gives me so
know,
many
and
questions though. It's like,
yeah.
so after we pass, we can still like taste our favorite drink and if someone gives it to us and our
For that one
favorite
day.
foods, it's like, dang,
Well,
that so many questions arise from that.
yeah. Well, technically, that's what the offerings are for. Like, you make this bread, el Día de los Muertos, el pan del Día de los Muertos. And then you put like their favorite beverage, their favorite foods, if they like to smoke, whatever, their
Cigarettes,
hobby. Yeah.
yes.
And it's thought that they come, cross the bridge, grab their things, and then take them with them and
Mhm.
enjoy
That is so
them
cool.
in the other realm. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep. Mhm, mhm.
So,
It's like that day where it's like that veil is lifted just enough where they're able to
yeah.
reach in and grab stuff.
That
Yeah,
is so cool. That must give you a
Mhm.
different understanding of life too,
for
to,
sure.
have almost like a security,
Mhm.
to know that we really were not gone, even though the
Yeah,
body is gone, that our presence is still there. I mean, that is a gift in its own because so many of us are so afraid to die because we feel
yeah,
like it's the end, and when you take that pendulum of death away, man, that's such a gift. Such a
yeah,
gift.
It changes the way you look at life, when you're not so afraid of what the ending is going to be because the ending is just another beginning.
Exactly.
Mhm.
yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing, yeah.
It is. Bree's
But
stunned over here. She's just like, "I can't. I wanna are you gonna you should do an
it's
altar this
because
year. We should do one for Grams."
I don't know anyone.
Yeah, you do. You have a dead grandma.
Hmm.
Yeah.
even if it's somebody you didn't know, like, even if it's, like, your great grandma or whatever,
Yeah.
I would for my
get
great grandma because I never got a chance to know her.
See,
yeah,
there you
get a
go.
picture or whatever, and then just investigate, what she liked. Just, like,
Mhm,
what she liked
mhm.
to eat, what she liked to drink,
My
and then
mom
try to
didn't even
get
know her. I guess
oh,
I'll ask my
yeah.
grandma and see,
Ask your
but I
grandma,
didn't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, and also that's a very cool way to just, like, look into your past and your history too, and to just be more appreciative of
Learn.
you like, where you came from and your ancestors. Like,
Oh, yeah.
who knows what information you can find out, and then you realize maybe you're a lot like your great-grandma, you know?
Well, I imagine because she was born in Salem, and so there's some witchy ass shit. Her last name is Sanders. It's like the Sanderson sisters
So,
and
I
Hocus
this
Pocus.
I was like, "This sounds like even more of a reason for you to start investigating this."
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
God
No,
man.
damn.
the things that you like find out whenever you start turning those rocks and looking into your history, dude. Like there was, I think my grandpa's parents
Mhm.
were witches. Like
Mm.
they did spells and stuff. They have like a at the ranch, there's this room that's called the blue room, and
Oh,
it's like scary as crap. Like, yeah,
really?
you see everything there. Yeah, oh no,
Like
that's like a
Santeria
freaking
kinda
portal.
stuff?
Brouhaha.
Bruja. I don't know
Yeah.
Santeria so much as just kind of like I know that I've heard stories that there were shapeshifters in that
Skinwalker
ranch.
vibes.
Yeah.
See, I'm afraid
Mhm.
of that. I'm afraid I wanna,
Yeah.
like
It gives you a really, really bad vibe. Like I cannot look that direction.
that's
Mm.
I
crazy.
can't be in that room because something just repels me. It just gives me really, really bad vibes.
See, and Bree would be so sensitive to that as well. I wouldn't be
Yeah,
as much, but
no.
Bree would 100% feel it from, like, a mile away.
Ah,
Yeah, no.
Oh,
It's
no
like a
bueno.
hot spot and like yeah.
That's crazy.
So,
wow. You have a lot of connections with the paranormal in your family history and around you, and
I do. I
That
do.
is
That's why
cool.
it's so nice knowing that this that's at my life that's actually, it has happened or whatever,
Mhm.
is understood by people, who
I think
haven't lived that.
that's just what's important, and that's like what when me and Bree started this, because we felt weird not being able to talk to other people about weird things and weird theories and stuff that we were interested into. And it's nice to know that like we're not the only people in the world, and we're not the only people in the world weird stuff happens to. Like it happens to so many more people. It's just that nobody wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, it's the unknown.
It really is. It really is. Tay, we want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story today. Honestly, it's like so uplifting, and it makes me want to go and like literally set up an altar. I don't have any people have passed on in my life, unfortunately, but maybe great grandparents. And I'll start to, could you imagine me reaching out to my great Jewish grandmother? She'd probably yell at me. Probably be like, this is the devil's work. Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine.
I do have a quick question. So
Yeah.
Yes.
does your dad kind of hang out with you all the time now? So it's not necessarily just um, in the November time of year. Is it all the time now since you opened that door with him?
Well, ever since he passed, honestly, I think since I was going through, well, the whole family was going through such sorrow, and he did kind of, he was 44 when he passed away,
So
Oh, he
and he
was
young.
died
young.
from, yeah, and he was a really, really strong, healthy person,
Mm-hmm.
and he got non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and that just like within a year, dude, it just like
Oh my
He was
gosh.
gone.
finished
Yeah.
him. Yeah. And so it was so fast, so we were all kind of in shock, like, I guess at the time we knew it was coming, but it was just so much to process, and I was, like, 16, 17 years old whenever that
Mm.
happened.
That's such a
So
tough
I was
age as it
still
is.
Yeah,
little,
seriously.
yeah, and so whenever I got back to the house, because he passed in Mexico, so we all had to go over there, bury him. So my dad is in Mexico, he's laying in Mexico, and
Oh,
Mhm.
I
so,
see.
yeah, and whenever we came back to the house, I could feel I was here alone because my mom stayed in Mexico, my siblings were out,
Mhm.
and so I could feel his energy here for sure. So I would be
Wow.
sleeping and he would, like, wake me up, like, caressing my hair or
Oh my
something, because
gosh.
he would do that every Sunday, cause or Saturday, cause we would go out every single Saturday, and I would just be with him running his errands or
Just
whatever,
keeping
going
the
to job
tradition.
sites.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so for a while, he did that, and then I would just kind of, like, see him, like, on the tree line, far away, and I knew he was there. But then, like, I
Wow.
had my baby, and then I had my second one, and I kinda stopped feeling him. And
Probably
then,
because he was watching over them and you didn't even realize it. Mhm.
yeah, and
You
then
weren't number 1 anymore. He's like, "I
Mhm.
I
have
know, for
grandkids."
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was so obsessed with his grandkids, he was excited. He
Oh,
That's
would,
so
man.
talk
amazing.
to my mom about that, yeah, he's like, "I'm gonna get them horses and ponies or whatever,
Oh,
Oh.
but
oh, the
I'll get them
sweetest.
one day for my
Yeah,
kids."
one day. We
Yeah.
all we all need a good pony and a horse. I think every kid needs one.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
my
but yeah, I
gosh.
stopped feeling him for a while because I was just feeling sadness every time I thought about him. So I tried to just kind of forget it and move on because I was like, life goes on, whatever, just push through it, get over it. And then stuff like this started happening. Like I would dream about him ever so often, or sometimes have a really strong feeling about something, or stuff like that. A song would come on the radio, and I just started opening myself a little bit more and more, and then that happened, and yeah, right now I'm just kinda like, open phone line.
It's
That's
amazing
But
though.
cool.
It was a journey, but it was a journey that I think that you needed to go on, you know?
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Everything that I've been through has definitely shaped me to be the person who I am now, and, I like myself how I am
Good,
now,
good, good. That's how I am too.
definitely.
I'm at
Yes.
that place.
Yeah.
You're muted.
Yeah. You're
Uh-oh.
Are those
You're still
crystals in the
muted.
back?
There we go. Yes, there.
Yeah.
crystals in the back.
Nice.
Yes.
You're such a sweet soul, Tay. You really are.
Really
Aw,
are.
thank
I love it.
you.
Oh,
Well, thank you guys because it's
no,
really
thank
nice
you.
talking to you. Y'all are really like open. I know it's unbelievable. I'm still processing it too, but the fact that y'all sit there and be like, okay, yeah, it's a possibility. I can see how it can happen. It's just like very validating and it's nice.
Well, good. I'm glad that we can help with that. But that's really what we're here for. We just want to help validate people and their experiences and the things that they're feeling and understand that like we all go through this. It's not something that you have to go through alone. And Tay, you can call us anytime, whether you leave us voicemails or you want to come online. Our door is always open to you.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you so much
thank
for sharing.
you.
I feel better.
So do I.
I don't know why, but I feel better.
Yeah, I feel very uplifted after that story. Like it doesn't make me feel sad or drag me down. It makes me feel so hopeful for the future, you know?
Yeah, it's weird.
It is. It's weird. You think that it would do the opposite when you're talking
Yeah.
about death and things like that, but honestly, it's such a beautiful, enlightening story. And please never stop telling it to people. Honestly.
You should write it.
No.
Yes,
I
write it.
probably
Write it.
am. I'm
Yes,
probably gonna
100%.
end up writing a book, guys. I'll
You
send you a
should.
Yes!
copy.
100%. Listen, we'll be the first ones to buy it. You tell us the Amazon link.
Absolutely, we will, and we'll
Yeah.
support it in any way we can. I really,
Absolutely.
truly think you should do that.
I 100%. I really couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you guys next week for another Abduction Hotline. We love you all. Goodbye.
Love you, and thank you so much again, Tay.
Yeah,
You're
thank you,
amazing.
Tay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.